M. Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog at kicks96country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, by way of the great state of Florida, North Florida to be exact, our good friend Pearl Clarkin. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Welcome to Kicks 96.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you down here for a while.
I know. I've been trying to get down here. I was super excited. I've been bugging Randy at Bar Frog ever since we started planning this. I want to go down and see Fletch.
Well, here you are.
Yes.
Right here in the heart of the Shoals. Of course, our rich musical history here. You actually come from North Florida, around Pensacola, is that right?
Yeah, I was just telling some people at the radio station here that my friends from South Florida think that I'm from Alabama. Because it's so North Florida. It's so funny. I'm like, no, I'm from Florida, but yeah, Pensacola Beach.
Mm-hmm. And now you've been actually singing since you were at least, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah. I went to American Idol camp when I was 12 and met Macy Gray, and she told me I was a songwriter, and that kind of started my whole journey.
Okay, now when you say Macy Gray told you were a songwriter, I mean, did she just look at you and say, you look like a songwriter? I mean, or were you writing with her? What was the song camp like?
So basically, when I grew up on Pensacola Beach, back then they didn't have as much music there as they do now at all. And there was not even chorus in my schools. And nobody in my family is in the music industry or does anything music. So I would tell my mom and dad, I want to be a singer. And, you know, my dad's in the military, or he was at the time. And so to them, that's like me saying I want to be a princess, right? Like, oh, sure, honey, that'll happen, you know. But my mom said when I turned 12, if I still want voice lessons, she'll get me some voice lessons. So when I turned 12, I was like, okay, I still want to sing, Mom. And I got my first voice lesson in, and then I saw an ad on television for this thing called American Idol Camp, which American Idol and Fremantle Media were putting on, but they were only choosing very few kids from across the country to participate. I was like, I'm going to go to that. And I was like, well, you got to apply, and these kids have been training since they were 2, and you've only had one voice lesson. I applied, and they picked me. Mm-hmm. And part of that camp was that we got to meet with incredible people in the music industry, incredible people even in the acting world, producers and artists like Macy Gray. So me not being part of a music family or having music around me, I didn't know what songwriting was as a kid. And when I was 2, I got my nose cut off my face and I hurt my chin and I had speech problems and I was very shy because of it. But the way that I communicated was through expressing my thoughts with melodies. And everyone at school thought I was weird, but that's the only way I really knew how to express myself. But I didn't know that was songwriting. I didn't know what songwriting was. Mm-hmm. But then when I got to camp, I met Macy Gray, and she was talking about songwriting, and I was telling her, well, you know, I come up with stories and melodies, and I put my emotions into music. And she said, well, you're a songwriter.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a story.
Yeah, well, it changed my whole life because all of a sudden I had a purpose. Mm-hmm. I knew what that was, that I couldn't stop doing what that was. It had a name. And so I said, oh my God, I'm a songwriter. Really? I mean, it changed my whole life.
I agree, because at 14, you were competing on CMT?
Yes. So Macy Gray, she told me, go home, write as many songs as you can before camp next year. So I went home and I wrote songs, and the first song I ever wrote, the first official song I ever wrote, I went home and I wrote it, and I came back to camp and I played it for the people at the camp, and Fremantle Media loved it, and they made it the finale of the showcase at the end and everything. And they told me that I needed to either go to Nashville or LA to get training, and I need to market that song, which I didn't know what marketing the song was. I was it was so bad how little I knew about literally everything. But then on TV again, I saw a contest at CMT, and they said that they were letting artists submit their original material with a music video, and I said, I'm going to get on CMT, Mom. And she's like, well, honey, we got to apply. You know, these people have been working on this a long time. And
your mother sounds like a very measured person.
She is very...
Let's manage our expectations.
Yeah. Well, I was always like, Mom, we're going to do this. But she was always so supportive, though, to actually do it. So she's like, all right, honey, we'll do it. We'll see if we can get there. I drove to Nashville and put my little thing in the submission box. And the next day, CMT called my mom. And they said, is that your daughter? She's 14, right? Yes. is she singing on that? Yes. Is that her in the music video? Because I've looked the same since I was 12. I looked a lot older than I was, and yeah, that's her in the music video. And she wrote the song. Yes. Did she write this by herself? Yeah, she wrote it when she was 12. And they actually invited me to come down to CMT and meet them because I don't think they believed.
Because CMT started to sound like the FBI asking all these questions.
So the next day, the second day of me ever being in Nashville, I got to go to the CMT headquarters and meet everybody. And they ended up naming me one of the top unsigned artists in the country when I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
And somehow that where Cowboy Troy kind of mentored you further from there?
Yes. So this is crazy. And I was actually just talking about this story. Was it yesterday? Yesterday I was actually talking about this. So how I met Cowboy Troy was actually just a little south of here, north of Pensacola, but still in southern Alabama. The Goldens, that's where they're from, and the Oak Ridge Boys. And so Rusty Golden had heard about me through some mutual friends and heard about my CMT thing, and he invited me to come watch Jeffrey Steele perform at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Steele, great,
Jeffrey
amazing
Steele's
songwriter.
amazing, absolutely amazing songwriter. He was playing for Jeffrey Steele, and he said, "Oh, come meet me. I'd love to meet someone from the same, area, and you're a young, girl rising up." But the thing was that it was a Halloween party, so the theme was to dress up like a celebrity. So it's really funny because you'd go and there were celebrities there, but you couldn't tell if that was just someone dressed up like that person or if that person's dressed up like someone else. And you couldn't tell any, but I looked to, I think it was my left. I was looking over at my left and I saw this really tall, broad, black cowboy standing there. And I'm like, that's Cowboy Troy. I'm like, I don't think someone could dress up like that.
No.
You can't pretend to be Cowboy Troy. And so I just walked up to him and I said, "Are you Cowboy Troy?" And he was like, "I am Cowboy Troy." But he saw my thing on CMT and he decided to take me under his wing. And I started opening up for him at Hard Rock Cafe, where I ended up getting hired there. And I had a weekly show there for 6 years.
Wow.
The Pearl and Friends show. But yeah, Cowboy Troy took me under his wing and he gave me the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten, and that is that music is a customer service. And I've always tried to keep that in mind about how it's not about the artist, it's about the person listening to the music.
Well, I would say that you have a lot of your mother in you because you sound like, even at your level of excitement, a very measured approach to your career. I know that I became aware of you probably about 4 or 5 years ago through your social media. And now you are releasing your first EP.
Yes.
Okay. Florida Tales, is that?
Florida Tales, yes.
And the first single off that is Girls of Summer.
Girls of Summer.
Now you actually, either you describe yourself or people have described you as a reincarnated mermaid.
Yes.
You want to explain?
I am a mermaid.
Oh, she is a mermaid. Okay.
I am a mermaid because, I grew up on Pensacola Beach, and I just am just a beach girl through and through. I mean, Nashville has tried to take as much of that out of me as they can, but you can take the girl off the beach, but you can't take the beach out of the girl. But I just grew up in the water, and I really believed that I was a mermaid when I was a kid. And I still do. I am. It's true.
There's nothing wrong with that.
This is confirmed.
I totally accept you as a mermaid. I do. I accept you. But that's kind of the place that this album has come from, this EP,
Yes.
Florida Tales.
Actually, we're thinking about the artwork being a mermaid and an alligator with their tails kind of crossing, like holding tails, because Alligator Walking is going to be a song on the EP, which is one of my people who like me. They love the song Alligator Walking.
It's okay to call them fans. They're fans. Yeah,
fans, friends. I feel so connected to them. For me, sometimes it's weird to think of them as fans, but fans of my music love Alligator Walking, which is just a silly song I was writing one time years ago. I was singing in Florida, and the next day I was singing in Georgia, and it was 1:00 in the morning on the Florida-Georgia line, and we're going, and a big, huge alligator just starts walking across the road in front of us. and there's a moondoggy shining down on the scales of the alligator, and there's shacks all over the place, and it's swampy, and it was such a mood. So I just wrote this song, Alligator Walking, and I thought this is never a song that anybody in Nashville is going to get behind, because it's not really, it's not the standard country, smash.
Yeah, most country songs are about trucks and dirt roads, not alligators so
Yeah.
much. Although I think alligators are relevant.
Yeah, alligators are totally relevant. But actually, I played this song at Bluebird Cafe one time, and a publisher there, he loved it, and he actually compared that song in my writing to Bobby Gentry, who's like one of my all-time idol. I mean, I pretty much died. I was like, I'm not even anywhere close, but thank you for that. But no, people love it, and so I could not have a Florida Tales EP. My first EP couldn't go without Alligator Walking. If you come to a Pearl show in Florida, everyone's going to be doing this. They're like, sing Alligator Walking.
Didn't your fans take their name from the song?
So I created a group called Team Pearl. That was what I came up with. I was like, yeah, Team Pearl. They're like, no, Alligator Army.
What?
And it's great because, I think it's really fitting for them, because they really are like warriors, and they love me fiercely. And, I really would not have been able to get nearly as far on almost anything that I've accomplished without their support. But yeah, and it's so funny because they are becoming their own, they're becoming their own legend, right? So it's like, people ask me about the Alligator Army almost every day now. And I'm like, this is so crazy. They're building a fandom of their own. Like, there's people who are fans of Alligator Army because they're just out there doing it. In the music industry, everyone has taken notice of it, and I'll go out to an event and they're like, so tell me about the Alligator Army. Like, that's so crazy that this happened, and I saw them doing that. And like that contest not long ago, the radio contest, and when we won that, it was just like, they just come out and they're ready for the death roll, They're gonna take down their opponent.
Well, let's talk about that. There was Nash Next. Is that what you were talking about, the Nash Next?
No, but that too. Nash Next as well. It was another contest. So
yeah, Big Machine label group has this sort of nationwide contest for unsigned. Is it unsigned artist?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's Nash Next, and you finished in the top 10.
Yeah, that was so crazy. That was so wild. So yeah, Cumulus Media and Nash FM, and Big Machine Label Group, they have this contest, and people submit from all over. You start at the local, which I did Pensacola, your local area, and then it goes to your state, and then it's national. And the fact that they honored me in the top 10 was just, it was an honor. It was what it was, because it's kind of similar to American Idol or The Voice, except for the industry. So it's not so much widespread, but it's an honor that people who are really high up inside the industry, the people who run it, are saying, you're the top 10 contenders, wow, to get a record deal. So, yeah, that was incredible.
Now, did you perform with your single, Girls Summer?
I did!
Okay.
Yes, and I didn't know that was going to be my single yet, but I'm glad now, because it's something that I can post and show people sort of the live version of it. But yeah, I had submitted my song Fishing originally, and they chose me on that for the first couple rounds. But then when it came time for the live band throwdown at the Wild Horse Saloon, I sang Girls of Summer, and it was incredible because Jimmy Harnon and Dan Huff and Terry Clark were the judges. And
wow.
Yeah, Dan Huff,
that's a tough room.
who is, he did Faith Hill, he's done everybody. He's
Rascal Flatts,
Brett Young. He's one of just like the biggest monsters in country music as far as producing goes. And Jimmy Harnon, who's one of the biggest record label executives in the game right now. And Terry Clark, who's Terry Clark? Who's Terry Clark? There's nothing else to say about that. And every single one of them absolutely loved it, and they absolutely loved Girls of Summer, which was a big reason why I chose this as my single, because they all had such positive things to say about it. And they also were saying things like, I've never heard a country song about girls in the summertime. Like, you hear Jake Owen singing, you hear Kenny Chesney doing it, but you don't really have a female country singer who's singing about hanging out with your girlfriends in the summer. And
From a lady's perspective.
yeah, from the ladies' perspective. And so they really thought that was cool, especially since I had my girl band on stage with me.
That was actually where I was going to go next. Your band, your entire band, you're all women.
Yeah, so it's called Rhinestone, or Pearl and the Rhinestones, which I think is cute because we're all jewels. But yeah, I'm a really big supporter of female power in the country music industry, and I think it starts with ourselves. You know, it's easy a lot of times when there's injustice to say, oh, this person or that person, you know, they're doing this or that. But I think that it's really important for us as females in country music to look at ourselves and say, we need to build each other up. We need to be supporting each other. And I know, for instance, my guitar player was playing with, you know, and had been playing with another girl, but, you know, they couldn't, that other girl ended up not wanting to have her anymore because she didn't want to have to compete on stage with another girl, right? So I think that it's a really good concept because, first of all, I just love them, but also, you know, we are going to have to stick together and stand together and help each other out, just like the guys do.
Absolutely. All right, so Girls of Summer is the single. Florida Tales is the EP, and that's due to be released later this summer.
Yes.
All right. If you want to hear Girls of Summer, make sure you call us at Kicks 96. We'll be happy to play it for you. Now, off the topic of just, you know, like your music and you know, the new EP, you mentioned, and I want to rewind because you mentioned this briefly. You kind of skated past it, and it was the spaceship parties.
The spaceship parties, yes.
I saw that, and I'm thinking, okay, I have to know what a spaceship party is.
Yes, and you have to come to one. I really want you to come to one of these this summer.
This is down in Pensacola, right?
Down in Pensacola. Okay. So we have a Futuro house, which back in the late 60s, this guy decided to design Futuro homes. He only made about 100 worldwide. There's probably only 40 left. But basically what they were mobile homes that you transfer by flight. So anyway.
Okay.
But the one that's on Pensacola Beach, which is the house that my parents, I think I was 2 maybe when they got the house or something like that. I grew up with it in it, you know, sometimes. And it's the most famous of any of them. It has a bigger fandom than all of us. James Gunn used it as inspiration for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and any given day I can sit outside on the deck of the spaceship and 500 people will stop to take a picture and wave and ask questions. And but anyway, so people love it. So I thought, you know, it's the perfect collaboration between my music and the spaceship, because people who love the spaceship would probably like my music, and everyone who likes my music loves the spaceship because it's a part of me. So I thought, you know, it would be really cool for promotion for this album to do house concerts there, spaceship parties. So I think, you know, the most amount of people that we're probably going to let in is 500 at the very most over the summer at different dates and times. So but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, very few people are going to get to come be a part of it, but the people that do, it's going to be a great experience.
These are parties that you are going to host. These are ticketed events, and as I understand it, you're there in July for the Blue Angels.
Yes. So last year we actually did a couple prototype spaceship parties, and the last one we did, we were only letting 40 people come. It was ticketed, 40 tickets for sale. We ended up selling 80 tickets because people just showed up and they're like, seriously, can you just please, I want to come to this spaceship party. It was wild. We're like, okay, we can't literally have anybody else. But we did one also during the Blue Angels weekend last year, and it was crazy. It was so much fun. But the Blue Angels is one of my very favorite things to do all year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what else is going on. I am going home for the Blue Angels.
Oh, it's a great air show. Great,
yes.
Great. All right, so one last question, and then we're going to let you play a song. Look for a live performance from Pearl Clarkin here on our YouTube channel. But are you doing something with Miss Tennessee?
I am. So I'm in the running for Miss Tennessee.
I vote for her. There's your Miss Tennessee.
Hi. No. I don't. I mean, I would be so shocked if I won this Miss Tennessee title, just because every single girl. So not anybody can go out for it. You have to already have a title. So currently I'm Miss Riverview, and there's only 36 girls that get to compete for Miss Tennessee. There's a lot more people that competed in the preliminaries, but only 36 people are advancing. So I feel so incredible that I get to be in this group with these girls. They're beautiful, they're talented, they're smart, they're charitable. But I'm really excited to see what happens. I mean, people are telling me that they think I have a really good chance. I just think it would be incredible to be able to represent Tennessee. And the thing I love about pageants, and before I got into it, I kind of thought that it was like everybody else, is sort of like a swimsuit contest, hair teasing contest. But at least the system that I'm a part of, the Miss Tennessee volunteer system, it's really all about charity. We all have a platform. Mine's Vanderbilt Children's Hospital and CMN because they saved my life when I was younger. And so every girl has a platform, and it's all about how much you do for the platform and how involved you are into the community. It's about your academics. It's about, which I'm in college too. I don't know how I'm doing in college on top of everything else, but I'm in college. And it's about health and fitness, which I love. And so really, when you combine all that together, and it's about interview skills and what you know about current events and everything, the whole competition, it really does better you. And it's really cool to be able to be in this group of girls and make friends with girls who really do care about their community. And if I win Miss Tennessee, then I'm committing a year to travel to schools and talk about character education. And I just think that would be absolutely incredible. But yes, it's all going down in 2 weeks from now. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a battle for the crown. So it'll
What's
be very
the date on
interesting.
that? Do you know?
June 23rd is the final round. So
Okay.
not everybody gets to compete that night. So you have to get through. Only the top 15 get to be on the actual round where everybody can come watch. So I'm hoping.
All right. Well,
top 15.
My vote is on record for Pearl Clarkin here from Miss Tennessee. The album is Florida Tales. The single is Girls of Summer. You hear it on Kicks 96. Call us. Be happy to play it for you. We'd love to. Pearl, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. PearlClarkin.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And what about your social media?
Facebook and Instagram are my best. Just find me on there. Don't be shy. Hit me up, y'all. Look me up, and that way, it's the best way to keep up with all the stuff that's going on, and I'll be posting about all the details.
Mm-hmm. Send her all of your encouragement for June 23rd.
Yes.
All right, Miss Tennessee. We're going to have a Miss Tennessee right here. And we'll see you next time on another artist video blog at Kicks96country.com.